Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Toilets to Titles 2022 NFL Draft Class Review. Tonight, I had to mumble that one, of course. Still get used to saying
It happens.
2022. It happens to the best of us. I'm getting older anyway, so you can't win. But you know what? Tonight, we're reviewing the New England Patriots draft class, every single round. We got our in-house doing this with me is Nino Brown. Here he's one of our newest members at Toilets and Titles, and he's already making a huge mark. He's got his Dynasty Diamonds
Yes, sir.
episodes that he's putting out pretty much every single day. He's really like kind of like the man behind our Twitter feed now, always pumping out like 3 or 4 or 5 tweets a day for us. So you're making a huge impact, Christino. How's everything going?
That's good. Can't complain. In mass, the
Yeah,
weather's breaking. Just grinding, just trying to put that
same
content
here.
out there.
Yeah, and same here in terms of weather in Jersey. It's finally like not
It
raining.
was
It's
80
not
the
hot.
last couple of days, so I'll take that.
Yeah, no, it's been beautiful today. Thank God. We finally got a break from the rain, man. But yeah, you've been pumping out the content. I know the Dynasty Diamonds have been a big hit. They've been a lot of
Appreciate that.
fun. It's been awesome. I really enjoyed a lot, man. Quick hitting content, just a few minutes. People love it.
Just try to
As opposed,
get them going.
absolutely, as opposed to me, I'm a talker. I talk a lot.
Well,
But
it
listen,
depends on what we're doing. Like I could talk like this with you about Pats Giants all day.
exactly. I'm the same way, man. That's why I love doing these types of videos where I do these dives, and I like to and I like to do this with a fan of each team, at least one fan of each team, because I want to. It's about the fandom for each team.
100%.
It's not about the fantasy football. It's not about college football. This is your team that you're
Real,
passionate
real,
about. Yep,
real
exactly.
NFL.
This is real. I mean, listen, without the NFL, without our teams, there
We
is no
have nothing.
fantasy. Exactly. So, but this is where the fandom really comes in. So I want to hear from you guys. And Nino's a big time Patriots fan, and they've got a nice rebuild going. Not even. I'm sorry, not a rebuild.
Whoa,
No,
whoa,
you're right. You're right.
whoa.
I hear. I know Brady being gone. I just automatically think of it being his rebuild. It's not a
You know
rebuild,
what we're
but
rebuilding?
it's
We're
what's that?
rebuilding in our coaching staff
Yeah, you're right.
because
You're
he's
right.
bringing in scrubs.
Well, Belichick is going to coach him up perfectly for
It's
his system.
ego. It's an ego thing right now. He wants to give
Yeah.
the big F you to the league. I can bring anybody in. They can have nothing to do with the offense. They can
hmm
be a defensive guy, and I'm
hmm
going to make them offensive guys.
And you know what? And he's right.
I hope so
And
because
he's right.
Mac
Hey,
Jones,
man.
second year critical. And what do? You bring in Fatty Patty Patricia and Joe. I have no clue what I'm doing, Judge.
Judge. Yep. Watch. They're probably going to be back on that watch list for head coach candidates
Well,
either
here's my
next year or
problem.
2 years.
How many assistant coaches has Belichick ever let go mid-year? None.
Yeah.
Three,
None.
maybe three. I think Peace
Yeah.
was one of them. Dan Peace
hmm
was one,
Oh, really?
and
I
then
remember Pease.
Don Chambers. I think
Yeah.
was the other one. There may have been one more, but I mean,
Yeah. Hey,
it's
listen.
so we're stuck
He,
with these guys. Is what you're
you know,
telling me?
he,
Oh
but
yeah.
he grooms these coaches like he grooms, players. Like
He groomed them to put the pencil in his ear too.
listen, they're doing something right because the Patriots have done a lot. They've done a lot of winning since the
Oh,
past like 22
I
years.
agree. But what
Uh,
has them two gentlemen done? Joe
oh,
Judge didn't do anything on special teams. That was all Matthew Slater. It's
judge them going forward. Judge them
okay.
going forward.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, you have to. You got to be patient. He's Belichick. He's the hoodie for goodness sake.
It's a repetitiveness. I just watch
No,
the repetitiveness.
hey, listen, but I like what you guys are. What you're adding. Belichick always seems to make things work his way, and so. But let's dive
He's
into the play.
outside the box. You know what I mean? He's always he's the dynasty diamond finder.
Yeah,
He
a
finds the
hundred
guy,
percent.
the diamond in the rough, the gem.
Yep. And I think the players that fit his systems perfectly, and they don't always translate if they move on to another team. They don't always translate as well. But in the Patriots, they seem to
The
fit perfectly.
Patriot way.
The Patriot way. Hey man, 9 Super Bowl appearances and 6 championships, like over what, like an 18-year span or something like
That's
that. I
20,
mean,
20 years. It's
yeah,
20
yeah,
years. Yeah.
can't complain. The man's doing something right.
I mean, you
So
had two dynasty runs. It's really unheard of, but
exactly,
it's
exactly.
old.
And
I don't live in the past. You know what I mean? Cowboys fans live in the past. Sorry, coach.
yeah. No, I hear you, man. I'm all about like looking to the future and listen. You got you guys. A rookie or a new quarterback. Just did his first year very successful, and the team played well. And they're not as talented as a lot of other teams
They
right
spent
now.
a lot of money,
Hmm.
but I feel it was the lower budget guys that did better.
Yeah.
Janu,
Yep.
big money.
Hmm. Right.
Nelson Aguilar.
It
You know
seems
what I
like
mean?
that's how. Yeah, he's not too great with spotting, with identifying wide receivers. I'll say that.
You can't draft him. You can't sign him. Manny
Yeah,
Moss fell in his lap. So,
but you did get a wide receiver we're going to get to in a little bit.
we'll talk about him.
Yep. Well, let's listen. So, with the way I was explaining this to Nino before, usually these draft shows are done, and this is how I did it last year, the first season I did it, where we go like pick by pick in the order that they were actually taken. This time I'm trying to do it by position group, especially when I see when teams have they took like 3 offensive linemen, 2 cornerbacks, 2 running backs. I decided to break it up that way. So we're starting it off with the 3 offensive linemen that you guys took.
All
And it
right.
was pick number of the first round, 29th pick overall, Cole Strange, offensive guard out of Chattanooga. Now, this is a guy he was one of these players, and it happens every single year. And there was quite a few of these players this year. Cole Strange was definitely one of them. This guy shot up the boards ever since the Senior Bowl. This is a guy who was definitely a well-known diamond, like expected originally to be like a mid-round pick, maybe like a third-round pick.
It was fourth.
And
They said fourth.
yeah, third or fourth round originally.
McVay was
But
throwing smoke at us.
yeah, well,
We
you
were
know what? It's
drafting
funny. This guy, when he went to the Senior Bowl, he impressed everybody, and he shot up the boards. And I was actually hoping, as a Giants fan, I was hoping that, oh man, listen, maybe we can go like Cole Strange in the early second round. I thought the guy would be great value there. You're talking like back end of the first round, early second round. It really doesn't matter. And I think they got a guy here he's known to be versatile. This guy had most of his starts were at left guard, I believe. It was definitely
all
guard,
but
right?
four. All but four.
Yeah, yeah. But at the Senior Bowl, at least Senior Bowl week, the coaches are trying him out like all over the offensive line.
Yeah, they want to see the versatility on him.
Yeah, and they do that with a lot of players, and they were really impressed with him. And that's why this guy shot the board. And I don't think he would have been. Some people might be thinking, oh, second round value. You could wait till like whenever they're picking the second round, the Patriots. He may not have been there. He may not have been there. Like Tyler Smith for the Cowboys in the first round.
6'3", 307, and the dude ran a 5.0340.
Is that fast or slow for an offensive lineman?
What did Jordan Davis run? Jordan Davis is right there. He's what, 360?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
How many offensive linemen running flat fives at
40
yard dash?
He is known to be an athletic offensive lineman.
So this RAS score was through the roof.
Yeah. So
9.94.
It was. Well, tell me about the Patriots the state of the offensive line right now.
Well, here's the problem.
I'm not too familiar with it.
Belichick decided that it would have been a good idea this year to just give Tom Brady a Christmas gift and sent Shaq Mason over there. Why? I don't understand. We need to protect Mac Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Left guard is what Mac Jones needs, so we just gave him away.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. They let Karras go to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be protecting this man. Like, what's going on?
Right. You don't want to wind up like the Giants.
Yeah, you don't get a rookie QB and then get a rookie offensive line. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
We should have been doing what Cincinnati did, and we should have been going out in free agency and getting O-linemen.
Well, from the outside perspective, and you guys probably know this too, but I mean, anyone who really follows football closely is very familiar with the Belichick way in that he'd rather get rid of someone early than later.
Yeah, before you get to the point. Before you get to the point where they have control.
Yeah, exactly, or also maximizing trade value, and not locking yourself into a long-term contract.
But,
I feel like,
Joe, that hasn't been in the last couple of years because Gilmore, we got nothing. J.C. Jackson, we got nothing.
Right.
All right. So he's kind of like since the year before Brady, the old Bill has kind of stayed away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't not trust them, but there's a lot that I start to question now.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you guys ever fire him, us Giants fans would be happy.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen.
I wouldn't either if I were you. I wouldn't even if he passes away, I would entomb him
outside of Foxborough Stadium. You know what I mean?
As they should. If he passed away tomorrow, I would entomb him in the stadium and still not
100%.
not let his body leave.
I mean,
But listen,
going back to Strange, he's a day one starter. He has to.
yeah,
The capital you just gave up on him, he has to be a day one starter.
right.
I mean, he's got speed, he's got size,
Hmm.
he's got physical strength.
There's a lot you could do with this guy. Besides, he probably will be starting at left guard, I assume. But
I would hope so. Where did you go get a big guy like that if you're not going to have him protecting,
right,
Mac
yeah,
Jones' blind spot?
unless they have plans for like someone else play left guard and for him
I
to
don't
start
want
on the right guard.
Owenu is not what we need. He tried it a few times when Mason was hurt, and Michael Owenu was not the answer.
Yeah, no,
But
I think
even
Strange is going. I think it's gonna be great for you guys. I really
I
do.
think so too. I think,
Yeah,
and he's a I'm not putting any kind of pressure or anything on him, but he's a guy that I think could match up against the elites on the other side
yeah.
of the ball. Not right
I
now.
think
Give him a year,
I,
and
I think you guys did well with this, with the value here for actually Cole
there's
Strange.
2 hits in this draft I like. And outside of that, I'm a little skeptical. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But listen, I thought you also did 6th round. You got Chase and Hines, center out of LSU. Now here's another. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, center we always need because
Mhm.
we Patriots use interchangeable parts where it be a center will move to right guard moves to center,
He's
left guard
another
moves to
versatile
right guard.
piece.
So yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I'm more intrigued by the next round pick
But
because
Chase and Hines, real quick, we'll get on to Andrew Stuber, or is it Stoiber?
I
Um,
don't know. I call him Stuber. It could be Stoiber.
we'll call him Stuber.
All
Um,
right.
Chase and Hines, I like the pick. I remember this guy was, in my mind, I thought this guy had like 5th round value, where this is a guy who could wind up being developing into a potential starter, whether it's at center or guard. He's got the size to play guard. Yeah, I think he's actually pretty big for a center. So if he could
Yeah,
stay,
I don't think he would play center in the NFL. I
yeah,
feel he would play guard.
if he can, if he can, that's great because he have great size at center. But
100%.
I think he could, he'll probably wind up being guard. I agree with you, Nino.
I feel
But
he replaces Karras, although Stuber's the guy I like, man.
yeah, all right.
Michigan guy, great with great on run blocking, and he's
athletic too. He's an
very
He is an
athletic.
athletic big man, and I'm actually surprised that this guy lasted to the 7th round. And this is a good offensive line. Good offensive line class. I wouldn't say it wasn't as top heavy, I'd say, as last year, or even the season before
A
that
lot
either.
of these guys I feel fell because
Good
of
depth. Good depth.
there's depth and a lot of big names
Yep.
kept dropping.
It
So
was
you have
also
to take the big name when he was there because at some point the best value is what you got to take.
it was also a really like last year. Last year was more of that was a very deep class as well, but that was more offensive. That was more offense centric. It was more offense heavy last year,
Yeah.
even though you had good defensive players. This year's the opposite. This year you have good offensive players all over the place, but it was actually more defense focused, defense centric, as you can even tell by like the first 5 picks. Whether
100%.
people agree with all those picks,
I know
but they
all
were
3 favorites. It was
they were edge rushers and
linebackers in secondary.
first offensive lineman did go to pick 6.
Yeah.
Some quality tackles out there. So, and the first 5 picks were either edges or cornerbacks.
Mhm.
So you had really good offensive line value.
Well, it's the first year in a while where you had 2 main stud cornerbacks, like cornerstone, lockdown.
Going that high, top 5. That was amazing. But I thought you got really great value. Listen, I think you got a day one starter here in Cole Strange. No doubt about that.
Well, there's got to be 2 of them. I need 2 to stop. They have to stop.
And what? Probably Chase and Hines.
He has to replace Karras. We have nobody right now.
Yeah, I think this guy's going to be a hit. And whether or not he develops into like a quality starter this year, that might be a tall ask.
If you can give me this much below what Karras was given,
show progress throughout the course of the year, I'd say.
Yeah, you're going to plateau at some point, but just continually move forward, not backwards. Isaiah Wynn, he just kept going backwards.
Yeah, I remember Isaiah Wynn. That's right.
We took him 1 pick before Sony Michel, and where are both of them?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Not on the Patriots, right? But I think Jason Hines was a good find in the 6th round, and Andrew Stuber. Yeah, you look at the guy. He's not like the same. He's even more athletic looking than
right there. That
most
picture doesn't
tackles.
do him any justice.
Yeah, it's kind of small.
Yeah.
But listen, some OTs are really, really fat. He's not. So
No, he's
he looks
very
pretty good.
athletic. He can bang with the best of them.
Yeah, I like it. I like the 3 offensive linemen in this draft. One early, 2 late. I like it, and I thought it was cool. I
I
thought it
feel
was
they
good.
addressed what they needed to address, so I'll take
Yeah,
Strange.
yeah.
Let's
They did what
just,
they could.
I'm putting all my money in the bank on them. They have no choice.
And then after that, let's start off with, all right, this is a weird mix here. I was trying to do this by position group, as was explained to Nino before we started the show. But these are all stragglers here: wide receiver, quarterback, and defensive tackle. We're going to start off with your second round pick, Taekwon Thornton, wide receiver, Baylor. Like my Giants and Wan'Dale Robinson, there was a big uproar over these 2 wide receiver picks in the second round. Go ahead. Why don't you lead off with Taekwon Thornton? What you thought? What did you think draft day when he was taken?
I just wanted to throw my beer and walk out.
Yeah, that's
The
kind of.
talent that
I
was
didn't
still
feel that way about
available.
Wan'Dale, but I was disappointed with
All
the
right, so
talent that was still available.
Wandell for you, I feel
Oops.
was, not to go off on a tangent, but you had a guy similar to him in Tony. So I can see why you were mad. When I see, regardless of the 4.28 40 speed, which is unheard of, it's instantly I see Baylor and I have Denzel Mims. He was such
Same
the
here.
speed, the hand, the wide catch radius. I mean, it's right there. It's Thornton, it's Mims 2.0. But Mims just fizzled. He couldn't stay healthy.
Baylor has a type. They have a wide receiver type.
It's fast guy with good hands.
Yep, and not always good hands either. I'm not even talking about Thornton. I'm just saying their receiver type is speed, and usually they tend to be skinny, but usually speed and height.
Well, as I said, he's 6'3", but he's only 180. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Like I was pointing out before, that's like, you know what? It's basically like the same weight as Devonta Smith, who went number 10 overall. With Devonta Smith, but he's got like 5 inches on Devonta Smith.
Okay, so it's beanpole. Cool.
Yep, Devonta Smith was, a much more accomplished route runner. Baylor wide receivers are never route runners. These guys are field stretchers.
That's it.
This guy, he can take the top of the defense on any single play. And but I'll tell you,
I
if he
just
develops,
don't know where he fills in. Like where? All right, so you got Parker now, who's obviously a wide receiver one, who's going to run the outside. Okay,
right.
You have Myers, who's always been your slot guy, your possession man. You have Kendrick Bourne, who has the best on-field connection with Mac Jones out of any wide receiver in the group. So he's going to be kind of all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where does this guy fit? Because you just paid Aguilar a shit ton of money. Excuse my French. You know what I mean?
He might be earning a shit ton of money to sit on the bench.
And I have a problem with that because that could be given to somebody else.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if they can cut him after this year, I guess then maybe. But I mean, if they've got if Thornton is shining in preseason, and then listen, the plan might not be. I know it's second.
I don't think it's this year. I think he's next year. I think he's going to be a special teams guy. He might be in a couple plays throughout the game just to draw safety cornerbacks downfield where you can throw Myers and Bourne across the slants or over the hash marks in open field. Yak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, if this guy can also, and I do get scared with Baylor wide receivers, but just to remind remind viewers out there, Tyreek Hill was known as a burner. I mean, he was not a big guy.
He's an outlier though.
Yeah, no, right. But he was known as a speedster, a guy who was not a polished route runner coming out of college. He developed into a very polished route runner.
Do you think he's a polished route runner?
I think he's kind of like a freelance guy.
Yeah.
But he knows timing. He knows timing.
Okay, timing and route running, I feel go hand in hand, but they're not the same.
Right. You're right. It's not exactly the same, but obviously he's developed into, he gets to where
we'll see right now.
He gets to the point that he needs to be in his own way, but he gets there, he gets there
uniquely
in the right timing.
Better than anyone at his size and speed can't. I'll give him that.
I think Thornton was an interesting pick, and I get, the what the hell are you doing here with this pick? I get it, but this guy has got that height and that speed that he's got those. Listen, they're intangible traits that can't be taught, and it's said all the time. But it's
I won't do it now because I'll get sick and the pod will end. But if I were to run down 5 names of wide receivers that got drafted after Taekwon Thornton, I'd be vomiting in a bucket.
I hear you. Hey man, with Wandale for me, it wasn't. I didn't even want a wide receiver in the second round. I really wanted. I wanted a cornerback myself. So, but
Booth,
or
you
a
wanted Booth.
linebacker or a safety. I wanted Booth, and they traded back. They traded back one time too many. Because they traded back twice in that round, and I was like, please don't trade back the second time when they get it already. I'm like, I want Booth, and he was just about to fall to us, and then Minnesota traded
Scooped him.
up and
Yeah.
scooped him. But anyway,
They
this
say
is
go get
Giants
your
podcast.
guys, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was just trying to get a little too greedy with extra draft picks, and there were some safeties I wanted to. But anyway, my point being that I'm not trying to just talk about the Giants. My point being that I feel your pain. I feel your pain. So
I
second
get
round
the
is
pick
valuable.
now. I get this next pick now because they flipped Jared Stidham to the Raiders. So I get it.
Yeah,
the dude's got a cannon, dude. He threw for 6,000 yards last year.
Bailey Zappe is probably, or Zap is probably like Zappe is probably the best diamond in the rough quarterback project in this.
He just can't get out of his own way, man. He he fumbles over his own feet. So he had like, I don't know, it was almost 40 rushes for 17 yards. So that means it's a lot of negative. You know what?
You know? Just be a successful pocket passer, which this guy was. And hey, listen, if you can actually like scramble, and gain some yardage that way, or just to keep the play alive, excuse me.
It's Conference USA.
You need to do that, right?
It's a little, not to take anything away from any conferences, but it's not the SEC. It's not the Big Ten. You know what I mean?
No.
But he threw for 62 touchdowns with only 11 picks. I mean, that's one season, 5,962 yards.
I like picks like this. Like, I thought he was great in the fourth round. It's amazing, when you think about it, Nino. He only went like one round later than a lot of the other, high-profile
Malik went
quarterbacks
in front of him.
draft.
One round.
Yeah, well, exactly. And he wasn't the only one. I think Corral went in the third round, I believe.
And they traded up for Corral.
I think third round.
Yeah.
And Desmond Ridder, did he go third or second?
I believe it was
third round still.
Yeah, early third.
Yeah. So, but Zappe is he's I like the idea of drafting quarterbacks like this, like in the fourth round, where sort of like where instead of spending, you're developing them. You're developing them in your own system. So so as opposed to going out getting some quarterback that's just bounced around the league his entire career, you have a guy who, if you develop, he's
for little money.
Exactly, and you're probably, it'll probably never develop into a full blown starter.
He's a career backup.
He's a guy, but he's a guy who knows your offense, knows everything about the team and the organization, regardless who comes in and leaves as offensive coordinator.
Brian Hoyer, 2.0.
Yeah, I think it's perfect, and I still like the guy's potential as a sleeper starter down the road.
Mac gets hurt. They take Mac out and they're up 40, and they tell him go in there and have fun for the last 6 minutes and sling it to Thornton downfield for a 60-yard bomb. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that, but I don't know. Like I said, I think he's Hoyer, and that's fine. But Hoyer was a great coach. He was a QB coach. You know what I mean? That's why he was around. He threw up on his feet in Kansas City. I'll never forgive him for that. But
Hoyer was pretty good. That was one of those good quarterbacks that bounced around quite a bit. You can get some good starts out of that guy. But I like these types of picks, fourth round. And Patriots always have a boatload of picks every single year, just like they had 10 picks this year. I liked it, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was good value there.
I saw the call, the Belichick call of Zappe. It was a heartwarming.
Oh yeah, I gotta see it. I have to check that out.
I love those videos. It was good. It's good stuff. Feature
send it
stuff.
to me.
Yeah,
I love those videos. I do. All right, and round 6, you had Sam Roberts, defensive tackle out of Northwest Missouri State, small school. I will say this about Sam Roberts: I didn't know anything about the guy until after he was drafted by the Patriots. And of course, I was preparing for the video. Obviously, small school. I forgot the conference, but it's a small conference. Hey.
Well, hello.
Sorry, I think he sees a fox outside. That was my dog. Melvin's been known to make appearances on my podcast. So.
I am glad.
He's a good guy. He likes to be a rock star. But anyway, Sam Roberts, this guy, if you can see the picture, I realize on the screen it's probably kind of small. This guy's built more like a 4-3 defensive end. He is versatile. He's listed as a defensive tackle. That's where he's played most of his college career. He's actually bounced to the outside too in a 4-3 defense. So I'm interested to see how the Patriots may develop this guy. I think this is a guy down the road who could wind up developing into a starting defensive tackle on the team. Like, I believe they play a 3-4 defense, New England.
Correct.
But I think if they're
he's been able to switch it. He'll switch it. He'll go 4-3.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, the base defense may be a 3-4, but I know they're going to switch it up to like a 4-3 defense. I could see this guy wind up playing like 60% of snaps down the road. Like, I don't think he's going to be like necessarily a 3-down player, but I think this guy could wind up being, and this isn't pie in the sky stuff. I'm not saying he's going to be a Pro Bowler, but I think he's got the sneaky ability to develop into a guy who plays more snaps than many other players on the team.
I mean, he could have a role early. It just all depends on how these vets do and how OTAs go. I mean, he had 6.5 sacks and 18 tackles for a loss in 13 games last year. I mean,
listen,
I'll take it. Impressive. I'll take that.
And even, you know what? Listen, the sacks, that's a really nice number. And remember, defensive tackle.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're on the edge. You're in the middle.
And the tackles think about 18 tackles for loss is a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Stuffing I'm stuffing you right there.
I mean, the conference, he's probably, playing in Northwest Missouri State, he's probably like a man going up against kids.
Okay, but wait a minute.
6th-round pick.
Trey Lance, Christian Watson, they play in Johnny whatever conference, and these guys are getting praised, so it is what it is, right?
Oh, no, and he's a 6th-round pick, so whatever. I like it. I like the pick a lot, and I think he's got some real upside. And all right, after that, you had your 2 cornerbacks. Now, Bill Belichick, the Patriots have been known for the defense definitely relies on, if they want to get pressure to the quarterback, they want the lockdown secondary. That's what they focus on. Ravens are the same way.
Yeah, we like homegrown. We like to make them ourselves, but we don't like to pay them. So they lost JC, Mr. INT.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Hey, listen, trust in Belichick.
Yeah, no, I understand, but you got a rookie deal. You're supposed to spend on the rookie deal,
right? Keep your guys.
I don't know.
Listen, the cool thing is you got 2 cornerbacks in this draft, back to back, both named.
They could both stop.
What's that?
They both could stop.
They could. They may. You could probably. See that.
I like Jones.
Which one?
Both Jones. I like Jack Jones better.
Out of Arizona State.
Yeah, I mean, he can play the outside. He can cover the slot guy. He can cover the possession receiver. He's a little under 6 feet. He's only 5'11", 171 pounds. So that concerns me a little bit. But I mean, his grades. He had off-field issues at USC before he transferred to Arizona State. But he's got off-field problems because in Arizona State he had violating team rules, so he got suspended there too. But Belichick tends to keep those guys in line. So
yeah. They do. Yeah, he does. I think that players like that go to New England, and he's very good at
But he has J.C. Jackson qualities because he plays the break on the ball incredible. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think you got a steal in the 4th round here. I mean, if he didn't have these, and I'm aware of the issues that you're talking about too. If he hadn't had these issues at USC,
we wouldn't have got him way higher.
He would have probably been like a nice. I would say probably like a late 2nd round pick.
I was gonna say around Booth, right around Booth.
Yeah, right around exactly. That. Like mid to late 2nd round, exactly.
Where did McDuffie go? 3rd round?
No, he went 1st round.
He did go 1st round. That's right.
I think deservedly so.
Yeah.
I forgot what team. It wasn't. I don't think it was Kansas City.
Yes, it is Kansas City.
Was it Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas City.
I love McDuffie because he's a versatile.
They got McDuffie, Corrales. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, they did. They did have 2 1st-round picks.
Yep.
But McDuffie went. Yeah, he was. I was hoping he'd slip to the beginning of the 2nd round because I love McDuffie.
See, the other Jones is the other problem is they drafted short cornerbacks, man. 5'8", 174. Like, what's up with the small guys? I get it. They're good on the ball. They're ball hawkers. They give space.
Well,
they give you.
I'd say Jack Jones isn't small. He's not.
5'11". I mean, he's close to 6 feet, but 5'11" is what the team says.
Right.
So he's probably 5'9.5".
Exactly. I know. I hear you.
He couldn't even guard Thornton in practice. He gets smoked.
All right, it's gonna be hard, guarding him in practice. But I thought you did here well. You did
I
well
think we
here
did
with
well. I'll
back-to-back
take this.
CDs.
This was a good hit. We needed it.
Yeah, and Marcus Jones gives you some versatility too. So I'll tell you, Houston. I like Houston's program. They're
They're
providing
on the
more and
come
more
up in the
talent.
last 5-6 years, man. They've made
They
a name
are.
for themselves.
They are. They provided. I forgot how many players to this draft, but a decent amount, considering that they're not like a big time program, but they're
Correct.
getting up there, kind of like Kentucky. I
Yeah.
mean, Kentucky's ahead of them, but some of these programs like Houston and Kentucky, every single year they're providing more and more players.
Oh yeah. Oh
And,
yeah.
and I like Houston's defensive talent. That's what they're known for. So
That's they
I
push
like the
out, man.
yeah they
Linebackers
do.
and cornerbacks.
Yep, defensive lineman too, and but I like these two picks here. You guys, you reloaded where what's always been traditionally a strength of the Patriots team, and that is their secondary. So what their ceilings are, I'm not exactly sure, but I think they have serious potential, both of them.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You
I'll
know,
take the
and
cheap
yeah,
for 3 years, so I'll take it.
yeah, and third and fourth round picks, not bad at all, not
No,
bad at all. And let's move on to another position group that the Patriots are known for, with stocking pieces, and that is running back.
this is a
And
glaring light to me right here. I mean, if you're a
so,
Patriots fan and you can't see the exit sign for Damian Harris, it's
so what did you think about these picks? I mean,
so
were you
I like P.S. Strong. He outside of the I wasn't a Spiller fan, so I'll
Mhm.
include him in as a top back. So outside of the top three, maybe four, because I like Zamir White a lot. I really
Yeah,
do.
I like my
Uh
Georgia running backs.
Strong has the best running back intangibles, I think. It's the only thing is he's straight line running, man. There's no cut, and he's just gonna run right through you.
Sometimes that's needed.
But that's Damian Harris. Damian Harris
Yeah,
isn't cut.
right,
So
right, right. Well, I mean, is he still on the team though? Right, Damian Harris?
yeah, he's RB1, but and this is his last year on the contract. He's not getting
Right.
extended. You don't go out and draft 2 running backs and plan on
Yeah.
signing that
Well,
guy.
yeah. Hey, listen, that's running back for you in the NFL, not just Belichick. That's running back, and
We do
these
2
guys do
committee.
tend
We don't do Philly and we run 4 guys. We do 2 guys
right.
and we let him meet. One guy maybe will come in and catch, but it's 2 bangers and then
Well, what did you think about the Kevin Harris pick? Because this is a name I was hearing a lot more at the end of the draft process, leading up to the draft.
so
I kept hearing Kevin Harris more and more, but by draft gurus that I was watching on numerous videos is like I'm not saying with every single video, but he's a name that I kept hearing more and more as as an RB to look out for.
see, like I would have been loving a goal line package with Kevin Harris and Jakob Johnson, but they let my
Hmm.
man Johnson go,
Hmm.
which is mind blowing to me because the Patriots are a running team and
Yeah,
you run through the fullback. That's what you go through. You run, we're a
yeah,
team that always had a fullback.
yeah. I like that. I love teams. I love running. I love the running game. I like teams that have a dominant running game, and that have a fullback, like a real,
Yeah.
honest to goodness, like old school fullback.
Harris was a score for us.
Yeah.
Which one they're gonna go with, I don't really know. It, the draft capital where they got drafted doesn't mean a damn thing to Bill Belichick or the Patriots. I mean, it's just like the
Exactly.
49ers in regards to, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? They don't
Yeah,
care.
man. Yeah.
It's whoever
Oh,
performs.
if I were a running back, there are two teams. If I were a running back coming out of the draft, there are two teams I would love to go to. One is the Patriots, and one is the Kyle Shanahan 49ers. They love and also the Ravens. Excuse me, the Ravens too,
Oh, the Philly.
or Philadelphia too. But the teams that I think who have like had the most success for
Oh yeah,
quite a few years now,
those three. Yeah.
those three definitely. Like I'd love to go as a running back or even a fullback. Like these are
I mean,
teams that appreciate their fullbacks.
PS Strong got a lot of hype pre-draft. Like I'm
He
talking a
did,
week before the draft.
yeah.
He was like a bubble.
I would say he was like always seen, and I think rightfully so, but it's not a bad thing either. This wasn't a great running back class, in my
3
opinion.
guys. He had 3. I don't like
Yeah,
Spiller, but he was in that 3,
I like Spiller, but Spiller actually may have been my favorite in this class, but it's not really saying much. Like I wasn't like all that high on Brees Hall. I wasn't all that high on Kenneth Walker. I wasn't all that high in Spiller. I was like, for me, I could see anyone taking either of these guys, like as the first running back.
So
Out of
my
go ahead.
problem with Spiller was his run yards per rush compared to
Mhm.
his yards per rush against his other teammates. Devin Chain had more yards per rush with
Yeah,
like 30 to 40 less carries.
yeah.
So,
He's got his holes.
I compare that. I can always compare the backup to the starter and what the differential is
Yeah.
in yards per rush. If
Hmm.
you're extremely higher than them, then you're the bell cow. You're the guy that's one and above
Right,
everybody else.
right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I hear you, man. I do think he's going to translate well to what
He
to the NFL.
fits. He fits the Chargers. They've been
I,
trying to
I
draft
was gonna
that guy for
s-
3 years.
I was gonna say a lot of it does depend on. It's kind of like Wandale Robinson too. Like, not that I would have taken him anyway, really in the second round, but it kind of depends what system he's going to. I think him going to the Chargers was awesome. It
Oh
was
yeah,
awesome for Spiller and
yeah.
awesome. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Save
I
Zeckler
lo-
for another 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I like this duo that you got here. Pierre Strong, I'd say, was just he was in the group that was one notch below like the big three,
Correct.
and
I
I know
put him in
you
that class with Samir White and Tyler
right
Algier.
Cook.
Yeah,
I
James
like I
Cook.
like I like Cook a lot, and he was right. He was right there. Take your pick, however you want to stack that order. Pierre
100%.
Strong was right there, and I like the pick a lot. Kevin Harris. Like I said, I can't really tell you that much about him, but I do
He's a
remember
bruiser, man. He's a bruiser.
he's a bruiser. I love bruising running backs. I love him, man. I want to punish a team,
Him
especially in
and
the fourth
Kennedy
quarter.
Brooks are big backs that can
Yeah, Kennedy Brooks. Kennedy Brooks is a name I like a lot too. But and Carolina, it's funny because Carolina, I should say South Carolina, the
yeah,
Gamecocks, they don't. It's funny they never seem to have like a winning record anymore, but they also produce a good
produce
amount of
NFL
NFL
talent.
talent. They
Yeah,
do, so it's funny. I'm like, I look at it, and I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Why can't you win more games? But they have like some really damn good players that come out every single year.
couple wide receivers, couple running backs, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they can't win more than 5 games.
Mm-mm. I guess it's the coaching, but man, they have talent that they develop over there. But that was it, man. So you got yourself three offensive linemen, two cornerbacks, two running backs, a wide receiver, a quarterback, and a defensive tackle. Overall, not looking for a grade or anything, but in
C.
Heinz. All right, so okay, so a
C.
C. Okay,
I'll go C
gotcha.
plus. C
All
plus.
right, cool. And who were your favorite picks, and who were your least favorite picks?
Well, I obviously like Jones, Jack Jones. He was one of my
Uh-huh.
favorite picks.
Yeah,
I'd be lying if I said at the time it was one of my favorite pick, but the more film, the more research I go into, Strange, he
yeah.
wasn't going to make it to the end of the second round.
No, he was not. No, he
He
was
might not
not.
have made it 3 picks into the second round.
I don't. You know what? I don't think so either. I think he would have been. Uh, and at that point, there, when you get to the back end of the first round, and even like the first, and all the way to like the first half of the second round, all those
Best guy on the
guys could.
board.
You look at like Andrew Booth Jr. He could
Right.
have won at pick 29 to the Patriots, and you wouldn't
100%.
have blinked. You wouldn't have blinked
Nope.
an eye. Same thing with Cole Strange, though, is the way I see it. Like you have like for the back end, like I'd say like pick 26 in the first round to like the middle of the second round.
26
It's
to
the
40.
same value. Just take your pick. What position do you need? Do you like a player? Good fit for your system, So, but I think Cole Strange was. I like that pick a lot. I do.
100%.
Yeah. So you
Now,
got.
then
Uh-huh.
I wasn't happy.
Oh, at that time, yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you,
you know
man.
that sleeper thing when you pick a guy that's not supposed to be picked and he goes, "Wow."
Right.
That was
Yes.
me on draft night.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That was me. That was me day two
Yeah.
with the Giants. But overall, listen, man, I trust in your organization to develop most of these guys. I don't care what team it is. Not everyone's gonna be some, smashing success. Some
You can't
maybe
hit him on them all, We
no,
haven't
you
hit
can't.
in a while, so it should be. Last draft was good.
Right.
Barmore, Mac
Yeah.
Jones.
You got your quarterback of the future, man. You got your
So
franchise quarterback.
hopefully the drafting is starting to climb and we're in a better situation. But
Yeah.
we'll see what we
Yeah,
can do.
listen. And I think some of these guys here too, like, are have a real legitimate shot to be, if not starters,
Role
some of the
plays,
guys taking like good, solid, important role players,
100%. Yeah,
So they're gonna fit the Patriots way like they always seem to make it happen. So
to
all right,
trust the
man. Well,
bill.
that is a wrap here for the viewers out there. You know what, Nino, I got to add your name to. There's a few names that I need to add to our Twitter handle down here at the yellow bar. But everyone, these names, please give them a follow. Great group of people here at Titles. I have to add Nino and a few other people. We've added like I think just like one or two new people over the past day or two, and then and Nino's been here for like a month, and so I gotta add you in there. So I have to
Stay
update it.
tuned to the Toyotas Titles Twitter. We got some giveaways going on.
Yep,
We're dropping them
some good
soon, so
prizes.
stay tuned.
Some good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, all right, Nino, thanks so much for covering the Patriots with me. I really
No problem,
appreciate it.
Joe.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Have a
Have a
good
great
one.
night.